Russian authorities have reported a drone attack in the city of Kursk. A fire broke out when the drone had hit a railway station. At least 5 people were injured. Russia added that Ukrainian drones had struck 3 separate regions on Sunday. 2 of Moscow's airports were temporarily closed to divert flights. The Rostov region also reported a drone strike. This region shares a border with Ukraine. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has said that the country will supply Ukraine with 19 F-16 fighter jets. 6 of these fighter jets will be sent around the new year. The Netherlands has also promised to provide Ukraine with the F-16s. The country has a total of 42 F-16 fighter jets in its fleet, and it is not known how many will be given to Ukraine. This is the first real pledge by Ukraine's allies to provide it with the jets that it has been demanding for months now. North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un oversaw a test of strategic cruise missiles. This comes as the United States and South Korea kicked off their annual military drills. The drills have been named the Ulchi Freedom Shield. It is designed to enhance the two countries' joint response to North Korea's evolving nuclear and military threats. Pyongyang sees the latest drills as rehearsal for war. Taiwan's defense ministry has released a footage of its fighter jets taking off for combat air patrol. This comes a day after Beijing carried out military drills around the island. Taiwan said that 25 Chinese Air Force planes crossed the Taiwan Strait's median line. This line served as an unofficial barrier between the two sides until Chinese military aircraft began regularly crossing it. Kazakhstan's president is visiting Vietnam. This trip comes after his Vietnamese counterpart, Vo Van Tung, invited him. The two countries hope to boost bilateral ties, particularly in trade and economy. This is the first time a Kazakh president is visiting Vietnam in 12 years. Pro-coup demonstrators marched to Niger's capital Niamey on Saturday. They called upon foreign powers to engage in diplomacy with their military rulers. This comes as the country's new ruler, Abdurrahman Etiani, called for a 3-year timeline to reinstate constitutional rule. The West African regional bloc, ECOWAS, recently doubled down on its threat to use force as the last resort to restore democracy in Niger. Cambodia's king, Norodom Sihamoni, inaugurated the country's new parliament on Monday. This comes weeks after Cambodia concluded its general election in July. The outgoing Prime Minister Hun Sen and his son and incoming Prime Minister Hun Mane also attended the ceremony. Cambodia's parliament will vote to approve the new government cabinet members on Tuesday. The swearing-in ceremony will take place on Tuesday at the Royal Palace. People in the South American nation of Ecuador have cast their votes amid unprecedented violence. The election was held days after presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio was assassinated. More than 100,000 police officials and soldiers were deployed to ensure that voting takes place peacefully. So far, no candidate has received enough support to be declared a winner. Former US President Donald Trump will skip the first Republican presidential debate. He argued that Americans know him well and he does not need to debate with his political rivals. The first debate for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination will happen on Wednesday in the US state of Wisconsin. According to an opinion poll, 62% people are likely to vote for Trump even though he has been indicted 4 times this year. Russia's first lunar mission in decades has ended in failure. The LUNAR 25 spacecraft crashed on the moon's surface. The incident happened after communication with the robotic spacecraft was interrupted. This news came a day after the spacecraft reported an emergency situation as it was trying to enter a pre-landing orbit. Moving to climate, tropical storm Hilary has lashed Mexico's Baja California peninsula. It made landfall on Sunday. The storms have brought torrential rainfall, and reports say one person has died due to the floods. Mexico's Navy had also evacuated more than 800 people from nearby areas. Meanwhile, in the US state of California, Storm Hilary brought heavy rains and fierce winds. Officials have ordered evacuations in the region. Hilary is said to be the wettest storm ever to hit the US Southwest. This is according to a meteorologist at the National Weather Service. A wildfire swept through Spokane County in America's capital, Washington, D.C. The fire has left one person dead and destroyed 185 structures. As of Sunday, only 10% of the flames were contained. Washington's governor has declared a state of emergency. In the US state of New Jersey, a wildfire raged through a forest on Sunday. The fire spanned across 80 hectares of the forest area. Emergency response crews were actively working to contain the blaze. In the wildfire-hit US city of Maui, the search for victims continues. Rescue teams with dogs have sifted through the charred remains of the Hawaiian state. Earlier, Hawaii's governor had said that the death toll was expected to rise further. Meanwhile, around 3,000 pet animals remain unaccounted for. Approximately 600 missing reports have been made by pet owners. This comes almost 2 weeks after the wildfire blazed the city of Maui. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called the country's wildfire situation, quote-unquote, extraordinarily serious. He said that the federal government is actively coordinating with regional and local governments. This is to protect residents and property. Trudeau also vowed that the government will help rebuild the fire-hit communities. Meanwhile, Canada's British Columbia has declared a state of emergency. The province has ordered the evacuation of 15,000 families in the region. Officials have urged the public to cancel non-essential travel to fire-affected areas. The World Meteorological Organization has warned that the summer of extremes is still ongoing. This comes as several European countries brace for a new heat wave. Meanwhile, heat and dry weather have contributed to unusually severe wildfires in Canada. It has also led to extreme wildfires in the US state of Hawaii and Spain's Canary Islands. Sea levels in the Southwest Pacific are rising faster than the global average. This is according to the World Meteorological Organization. The WMO has said that water levels were rising about 4 millimeters per year in some areas. This is a threat to low-lying islands in the region. Over time, this could lead to islands getting flooded. US-based Citigroup CEO Jane Fraser is reportedly considering disbanding the bank's biggest division. This would split Citi's institutional clients group into 3 primary business segments. These will be investment and corporate banking, global markets, and transaction services. The potential move comes as the CEO of Citi's institutional clients group is set to leave in the first half of 2024. Chipmaker Intel is slashing at least 140 jobs in another round of layoffs. The positions will be eliminated from its US operations. This will take effect at the end of this month. Back in May, Intel had announced its plan to cut jobs. It had said then that the move would help the company mitigate costs amid a challenging macroeconomic environment. A lawsuit has been filed against the online gaming platform Roblox. The suit filed in the US accuses Roblox of illegally facilitating child gambling. While gambling is not allowed on the platform, the lawsuit targets third-party sites. They allegedly invited children to play blackjack, roulette, and other games using Roblox's in-game currency. A group of lawyers have filed a lawsuit against Australia's Qantas Airways. They have accused the airline of failing to fairly refund passengers for flights cancelled during the COVID pandemic. The suit says that this helped Kansas make illegal profits by retaining billions of dollars of customer funds. California's auto regulator is investigating car maker General Motors' Cruise robotaxi. This is over a recent crash. Last week, a Cruise robotaxi crashed into an emergency vehicle in San Francisco. The regulator had also asked Cruise to immediately reduce its fleet of vehicles by 50%. Just last week, California voted to allow the round-the-clock operations of robotaxis. Tesla has obtained new information regarding a data breach that took place in May this year. The breach compromised the information of more than 75,000 people. The company says it has found that 2 former employees were involved in the breach. Tesla has filed lawsuits against the employees. Social media platform Twitter, or X, has rolled out new verification rules for its X-Blue users. As per reports, they will be required to submit a selfie alongside a photo of a government-issued ID. The user's personal information will be handled by an Israeli company. This company will store the information for up to 30 days. This has left many users concerned. They are unhappy with X's choice of the company owing to its Israeli origin. Meanwhile, Elon Musk has said that X will remove the block feature. This feature allows a user to restrict specific accounts from contacting them, seeing their posts, or following them. However, he said the site will retain the mute function, where users can mute accounts to stop seeing posts from them. Somalia has banned TikTok, messaging app Telegram, and online betting website 1xBet. This is to limit the spread of quote-unquote horrific content and propaganda. The country's communications minister said that terrorists use these platforms to spread misinformation. The internet service providers have been given until the 24th of August to comply with the orders. The Canadian government has asked Meta platforms to lift a ban on domestic news from its platforms. The government says this will allow people to share information about wildfires in the country. Earlier this month, Meta started blocking news on Facebook and Instagram for all users in Canada. This was following a new law requiring internet giants to pay publishers when their platforms displayed news articles. Moving to sports, in cricket, the BCCI has announced India's 17-member squad for the Asia Cup. The side will be headed by Rohit Sharma. Batter KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer are back in the list. Both Rahul and Iyer were on a break due to an injury. Bowler Jasprit Bumrah is also back to the 50-over format. The first match of the Asia Cup is on the 30th of August between Pakistan and Nepal. India beat Ireland by 33 runs in the second T20 international match in the ongoing series. Jasprit Bumrah-led side scored 185 runs in 20 overs. India now lead the 3-match series 2-0 with a game yet to be played. The two sides will meet again to play the final match on Wednesday. In football, Spain have won their first ever FIFA Women's World Cup title. They beat England 1-0 to become the world champions. Spanish captain and defender Olga Carmona scored the winning goal in the 29th minute. In some more news from the FIFA Women's World Cup, Spain's captain Olga Carmona learned her father had passed away. The announcement came as Spain lifted their first World Cup trophy. Carmona's only goal in the final earned Spain their victory over England. Her family had reportedly kept the news away from her so that she can focus on the match. Manchester City beat Newcastle United 1-0 in the English Premier League on Sunday. Man City forward Julian Alvarez scored the only goal of the match. The defending champions will next play Sheffield United on Sunday. Meanwhile, Aston Villa beat Everton 4-0 yesterday. All 4 goals were scored by different players. The second goal was a penalty converted by Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz. Villa will now travel to Burnley next Sunday. US football club Inter Miami clinched the League's Cup trophy on Saturday. They beat Nashville on penalties. Lionel Messi gave Miami the lead with the opening goal in the 23rd minute. Nashville's Fafa Picault scored in the second half to level the match. Nothing separated the two teams at the end of regular play, and sending the match into a penalty shootout. Miami then defeated Nashville SC 10-9 on penalties. In tennis, men's world number 2 Novak Djokovic took his revenge on world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz in the Cincinnati Open on Sunday. The two had recently faced each other in the Wimbledon final. Alcaraz had gotten the better of Djokovic in London, but the veteran Serb returned the favour yesterday. Djokovic lost the first set 5-7, but then rallied back 7-6 and 7-6. After the match, Alcaraz burst into tears and Djokovic tore his shirt to celebrate the epic win. Meanwhile, American Coco Gauff clinched the Cincinnati Open women's title. Gauff beat Karolina Muchova of the Czech Republic 6-3 and 6-4 in straight sets. This is Gauff's second title this month. The 19-year-old had won the Washington Open 2 weeks back. America's Noah Lyles won the 100-meter race at the 2023 World Athletics Championships in Budapest yesterday. Lyles reached the finish line in 9.83 seconds. This is the fastest 100-meter time clocked this year. Moving to entertainment, after ruling the box office for 4 weekends, the Barbie movie has now fallen to the second place. DC's superhero film Blue Beetle has now taken the top spot. Blue Beetle opened to an estimated $26 million in North America. The film earned $18 million in 63 international markets, bringing its overall box office collection to about $44 million. Major Hollywood studios and Writers Guild of America are all set to meet this week for negotiations. This comes after the Hollywood studios presented their counter-offer to the striking writers last week. The two sides met about 4 times last week. This comes as the WGA strike has entered its 109th day. Singer Miley Cyrus's mother Tish Cyrus has married Prison Break actor Dominic Purcell in a small wedding in California's Malibu. Miley Cyrus and her sister Brandy Cyrus were bridesmaids. Tish Cyrus announced her engagement to the actor more than a year after she filed for a divorce from her former husband, Billy Ray Cyrus. The two separated after almost 30 years of marriage. Singer Britney Spears has broken silence on her divorce. Spears said that she had been playing it strong for way too long in private. She also noted that what she posts on social media may seem perfect, but it is far from reality. Spears' husband, Sam Asghari, recently filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. This happened just 14 months after their marriage. American media personality Khloe Kardashian's friend Khadija Haq has announced a split with her husband Bobby McRae. The two have 3 children together and are separating after 13 years of marriage. McRae also has an 18-year-old son from his previous relationship. Haq and McRae have been notoriously private about the relationship despite being together for a decade or over a decade. Lizzo's dance crews Big Girl and Big Boy are showing their support for the singer. This comes after she faced a lawsuit filed by some of her former dancers. In an open letter, the crew members said, "Thank you Lizzo for shattering limitations and kicking in the doorway for the dancers." Lizzo has been accused of sexual harassment and creating a toxic work environment. K-pop band BTS's member Jungkook has opened up about why he thinks people love K-pop music despite language barriers. He said K-pop is a pleasure to the eyes and the ears. There are a lot of related elements and contents. I think that is what captivates so many people. When asked which song he would suggest to a person who has never heard K-pop, Jungkook named BTS's 2018 song Idol. He said the song has a powerful vibe. Meanwhile, another member of BTS, RM, has shared a powerful message with fans worried about gaining weight. RM said, and I quote, "It is okay. The weight always comes and goes. Just look at me." While interacting with BTS's fans called the Army, RM also answered questions related to stress. He said, "Every day is a test." Internet personality Lil Tay's mother, Angela Tian, has broken silence over her death hoax. Talking about the custody of her children, Tian said, and I quote, "This experience has put us in a constant state of severe depression. Tian and Tia's father, Christopher Hope, have been engaged in a custody battle for several years now. The latest statement comes days after Lil Tay and her brother were announced dead on social media. Days later, Tay confirmed she is alive and safe. And finally, actor Ron Cephas Jones has died at the age of 66. He died due to a long-standing pulmonary issue. The actor was famous for his roles in the hit drama series This Is Us. Cephas Jones played the role of William Hill. Actor Mandy Moore, who played Rebecca Pearson in the show, paid an emotional tribute to her co-star. She said getting to know and work with Ron on the wild ride of This Is Us was the greatest gift.